Hey everybody, well, thank you all for tuning in. We have a great show for you tonight. I am still your host, Xavia Fox.
What's happening, y'all? It is so nice to be back.
Are black men and women adversaries? Is that why our relationships don't work?
The population isn't available. Like
No.
if there's 41% single males and 71% single females, there may not be an available population of black men for us today, at least within our. They're in other places, jail, not in other places.
It's more women than men.
It
So
is more
when you
women.
look at that, they may average out. If it's more women than men, and you have 41% and then 70% or something like that, it could be, the number could be pretty close if you just look at the statistics.
And your comment about the men going to Brazil, there are a percentage of men who seem to be seeking some kind of submission because of the independence of black women.
Black women submit.
Calm down.
Well, come on here. You got to
Because the truth is that I really agree with that statement. I actually think that black women do submit.
I think black women submit to a man that's worthy to be submitted
right.
to.
It depends on if they trust the man. But I think that one of the things that's kind of unfortunate is that black men, we kind of penalize to a certain degree black women for being independent, when the reality is that their independence is what actually helped us survive as a race.
Amen.
And it was actually much needed. So it's like, while we needed them to even get us to a certain level, we penalize them when it comes to dating. Like, we don't give them, because it basically boils down to whether or not you want to put in the time. Because I can raise my hand and say I am guilty of meeting somebody, seeing the independence or seeing something and say to myself, I don't really have to deal with that, because the reality is that a lot of us have a lot of options. And so, you know, if it don't come easy, you know, if it's not a perfect way of just getting along, and I'm not talking about sex, because I ain't big on having sex quick. I'm just merely talking about getting along. You know, just kind of a smooth transition as far as just getting along. Because it's like you see something, you notice something, and you're like, man, forget it, I don't feel like arguing with her. But the reality is that they have at least earned some patience because of what they have done. But
okay, well, the first thing I want to say is that people have to understand, especially in our black culture, that one black man does not define all black men. One black woman does not define all black women. We have to understand that everybody comes from different walks of life. So maybe you grew up in a household where the black woman was the representative of the family. She was the backbone, she was the brain, she was the working operation in the household. Maybe you came from a background where your father was the stay-at-home dad. You know what I mean? So it's like black people have to get out of this systematic way of thinking. We've been very trained. We've been fed by the media. You know, we have all these things that affect us on a daily basis. So it's like a lot of times what we personally seek, okay, for example, I may want a man that's 5'8", he might be 230 pounds, working at a car shop. That's my thing. So who am I to sit here and allow somebody else to come into my life and tell me, well, no, you get this is what we want you to have. And a lot of black women, that's what we do. Now, we can be happy within our own relationship, but then we have a girlfriend or 2 or 3 who comes home telling their stories, hyping us up to have something else, and we have a good man right there at home, and they're used to him, belittling him every day because you want to be something that he's not when you already fell in love with him from the beginning. So now everything that he offered you in the beginning, you're starting to hate it because you don't have what your girlfriend has. What you don't know is at home, baby, she's depressed. She just has the outline of the man, she doesn't have the core. So people have to understand that once you start getting to know the core of a person, and really getting to know them, then you'll be able to decide whether or not, okay, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, or, hey, we can just be friends. Okay, it's no love lost. We had a run, but it you know, just wasn't our experience. That doesn't mean you have to dog a man and a woman. Same thing with the black men. You all constantly request that you want an independent, self-sufficient, educated woman, but as soon as she challenges you to something, you want to knock her down. Why is that? Instead of embracing her and you know, supporting her, you knock her down like her pet. Why? We are all kings and queens. That should never be a moment where we're all doing this with each other. If anything, we should be holding each other's hands and educating each other, not, you know, be battling, not fighting. You know what I mean? It's already enough going on outside of our culture anyway. But what's crazy is our culture has the most subcultures and divisions within it. Why is that? You see what I mean? So it's like, instead of sitting here allowing our kids to be brainwashed or allowing our children to be subjected to ignorance, we need to educate them too. Just take the time out to know, as far as black men and women, we love to hate each other, hate to love each other. It's not that we love to hate each other, hate to love each other. It's that we are at such a different level in life because we have not tried to compromise the common ground. And if a lot of us would stop compromising what we personally like to subject ourselves to somebody else's happiness, we wouldn't have those issues. You have a right to be happy. You have a right to enjoy what you enjoy. If you and a person come to a point of an agreement where you all can say, hey, okay, you know what? That's not really my thing. Okay, that's not really my thing. Well, what can we do to kind of make this thing work? Let's see what we can get in the middle. You know, so I love my black men, I love my black women. We are a very, very beautiful culture. But until we all get that in our head that that's what we are and we can do better, we're going to constantly have this issue.
Holistic Harmony Inc. is a solution-focused therapy agency with 100% satisfaction in building passionate, quality relationships. We offer individual, couples, and group sessions with licensed therapists. No topic is off limits because we believe in real talk. Contact us today to schedule your appointment at 773-420-9572. Visit us on the web at holistichearmonyinc.biz. We don't counsel you, we cultivate you.
If you've ever dreamed of becoming an entrepreneur and don't know where to start, The Entrepreneur Within You by Julie Holloway is a must-read. Holloway and 17 co-authors share advice and inspiration that can save you from serious business blunders. So purchase your copy today on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. The Entrepreneur Within You. Empowering, equipping, inspiring.
Hello, panel. Quick story. I got a coworker that at least 2 or 3 times a week, she's complaining about her husband is not helping her discipline the kids. This is something that she saw in him before she married him, the way how he handled his dog and how he handled his
dog was different from TV.
Do you think that we let our deal breakers go by? Well, we're not saying our deal breakers soon enough in the relationship or when we first started dating, because if she saw that and she continued to see that, she went ahead and married him anyway. Or if you know the person wants to relocate and go to New York, but yet you still want to be in a relationship with this person, that's a deal breaker. So my question is, do you think we are waiting too long to put our deal breakers out there in the relationship?
Let me, because I love this question. What we're doing is a lot of people are afraid to be alone. They latch on to something because they don't think they're going to find anything better. And they think that that person is going to change. They think that once they're married, that person is going to fall into this whole little format of the family and all that kind of. You think that person is just going to change, but that person has shown you who they are. I have a girlfriend right now. When you were saying that, I was just like, dang, how does he even in my inbox? She told me about 4 months ago that he is not. He's got, I think, 3 kids already. She's like, he is not a good father. You know, he don't do nothing with his kids. You know, his oldest daughter, blah, blah, blah. She just told me what a horrible father he was. 2 weeks ago, she told me she's pregnant. Now, y'all know I have something to say about most stuff. I just said, really? And he's not a good father. She knows he's not a good father. Why are you having a baby if I know that you kick dogs in the butt? Why am I
A couple of things we said, and we keep using the words king and queen interchangeably, but then when, you know, king and queens come with royalty and hierarchy. Yet when we ask for men to be, you know, above us or that we should submit to them, then, you know, we say things like, you know, we're the queen, but then we're like, oh, but I'm not going to bow down to you. Well, if you're going to use the word king, everyone bows down to the king in England. So that, you might want to think about that. Do we like each other? Just to start with the first question, I don't think we like each other. I think we have allowed society to give us this idea and this image of what we want. I mean, I clearly remember before I got married, that I had this full long list. Now I'm like, does he have all his teeth? Can he conjugate a sentence? Those are the things that once you grow up and get some different things, you start recognizing that. And the last thing is, we always say things like, and I'm always concerned, or I'm always interested and piqued when we say, I'm old school, we're not going to have things this way, but it's exactly the questions Xavia posted, and I said, you procreate somebody, you call him a loser, you say he doesn't keep a job, he's not this, he's not that. So why did you create a mini-me? That's what we had the conversation on Facebook. And we as women have to recognize that, we do have a decision to make when we decide who we're going to procreate and recreate and make a mini-me of. And I totally understand what you're saying about the thing. But I do have a question if you're going to move on to the next question, though. My question is, when will we decide for ourselves what that standard is going to be and make it match? You talked about the statuses or the statistics or something, And I guess I'm just trying to figure out, I turned 46 yesterday. This, when are those numbers? When is that 41%? That's 71%?
Well, she said most of them are in jail, so maybe I'll do this.
This is something I'll throw out there. When are we going to make those numbers match? Go ahead.
That's a tough question. I don't know if at this point the numbers are going to match up at this point. Because I think that we are, this is just my opinion, I think that now we're at a point where if we don't change or are not able to open our minds and look at a bigger picture enough where we can change the thinking of our kids, then it's just going to keep going. It's just going, I don't know what's going to really happen with the black race, because black men are marrying other races, so you have a generation of mixed kids coming up, and black women, we don't have a choice. Well, I have a black man sitting back there stuffing his face, but there's not really much choice but to look at other races to start dating, because if the numbers is 41% of black men versus 70% of black women, what are you going to really do? If I were single at this particular point, I might open up my thought process a little bit. I've always been, I love my brothers, I love black man, skin color, just the whole, the swab, just all of that stuff. I just like all of that stuff. But, do I wait for, I'm definitely, I believe in empowering yourself, and that covers all realms. So do I sit and wait for a black man that's going to treat me right, or do I explore my options with a man that's going to treat me right, period? Because a man, they all come with the same equipment.